Your genes
are not your destiny. Hi, I'm Dr. Tom Salt. I'm a medical doctor and functional medicine practitioner.
I'm Elizabeth, an RN, and also the wellness coach here at Just Be Well.
Everybody's getting their genome sequenced.
We've all heard of them. The 23andMe, I think, is really in hype right now. And we're all excited to find out our genome, and then we see it and we forget that our genes are not our destiny.
Right. You know, people come into the office and they say, oh my God, I'm a genetic mutant. And the truth is, we all have genetic uniquenesses. That's what makes us us. If we all had exactly the same genome, we'd all be identical twins. So some of these uniquenesses code for a gene that's a little less efficient, some a little more efficient. But these uniquenesses, often called single nucleotide polymorphisms or copy number variances or whatever, are normal.
I really encourage you to stick around till the end of this video. We have some great things that you can sign up for. They are free. They are very informative. You can become part of our community. And you will also receive chapters from Dr. Salt's book, Just Be Well, along with some free webinars and other things that we do.
Absolutely. So back to this idea of your genes are not your destiny. So it's really your environment washing over your genes that cause your phenotype. So you have a genotype, which is just your genetic code, and then all of the what's called epigenetics, that's the fancy word these days, all the epigenetic post-translational, there's all these big words that mean who you actually are. So the epigenetic stuff becomes your phenotype. And that is really caused by everything in your environment, whether it's food and water and drink or environmental pollutants or toxic thoughts, all kinds of things affect the way your genes are expressed. So your gene risk is really the intersection of what we call the exposome. The exposome is everything. You know, you've got your genome, you've got your proteome, you've got all these omes, and well, this ome is called the exposome. It's everything that you drink, eat, breathe, touch, think, every type of exposure. If you can think of an exposure, it's part of the exposome. And that exposome interacts with your genetic makeup and causes all of the epigenetic changes that either turn on or turn off genes. So as an example, we know that taking vitamin D will dramatically decrease inflammatory gene activity and increase anti-inflammatory gene activity. So if you happen to be vitamin D deficient, you may be in a pro-inflammatory state. There's all kinds of interactions like that. You know, we all know about carcinogens in the environment and things like that. But your genes are not your destiny. It's really how that gene exposome interacts.
Yeah, and I think we forget that we can compensate our risk with diet and lifestyle. Like Dr. Salt was saying, we need that, external factor to unlock that gene. So, when we're monitoring our diet, our lifestyle, our environments, what we're exposed to, we can greatly, if not at all, decrease these risks. And when we think of our diet, we should be thinking of, okay, has our food been alive recently, or would it be recognized by a person from the pre-industrial revolution?
Yeah. So, if you think about the Industrial Revolution, that was a long time ago, right? That was what? I don't even know the date. That's what kind of a genius I am.
Don't ask me the date.
But anyway, that was a while ago. That was like before the steam engine, right? And they had whole foods. That was a true natural whole food diet. And what we're really advocating, there's all kinds of extreme diets. And to have the notion that there's one real, true human diet, that's silly. I mean, if there was one diet, then there would be no Inuits, right? If there was one diet, there would be no cannibals.
And if there is, there's not one type of person, so how can we expect one type of diet is going to work for all people?
So rather than advocating, certainly we use very specific therapeutic diets in very specific situations, but as a general rule, a whole foods, high plant matter diet has the best science. You're going to talk to people who are meatitarians and they're going to be zealots for a meatitarian diet. You're going to talk to people who are paleo and they're going to be zealots. But if you're eating whole foods and you're getting a lot of plant matter, the data is strong that that's going to reduce your risk. So what to eat? Lots of plants. Lots of plants. Have a big salad every day. Have lots of vegetables and fruits. And while I'm not a big advocate of grains, the data is strong. Grains are good too. It's refined foods that are a problem. So if you're eating white bread, it's a high glycemic index bread. It's probably going to lead to some insulin resistance and other problems.
And what simple changes can you make in your day-to-day based on these recommendations that he just said? Well, when you're thinking of, getting it back to as real as it can be. So anything that is fat-free, low-fat is usually processed with a bunch of chemicals. So you want to go for the full-fat foods. If you have coffee and you put that artificial creamer in it every day, maybe you want to put some coconut oil in it, or just some whole milk or cream.
Yep. Maybe you want to think about learning to love sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are a lower glycemic index than white potatoes. So often
they're sweet.
And they're sweet and they're good. It's kind of weird that they're better in terms of glycemic control and insulin resistance than a regular potato because they're sweet. And you also want to think about, what we always think about, what can I not have? Well, let's just talk about what you can have. Start thinking on the positive side. Eat the things that should be in your diet. And what happens is when you're full, there's less room for the junky stuff. So don't get caught up on what you can't have as much as focusing on what you can have. And just think about, how would your diet and lifestyle change if you were really thinking about a pre-industrial age, whole foods, recently alive diet?
Can you read the ingredients? Can you pronounce the ingredients? That's the first clue that maybe I shouldn't eat that. I don't know what it is. My body's not going to know what it is. It's not going to know what to do with it.
Why don't you say a few words about your 5-ingredient idea?
I would look at a label, and if there was greater than 5 ingredients, I wouldn't even get it. Sometimes I would go over, obviously, if it's a whole ingredient that I know. But it was amazing that the changes we had just based on that diet. Our body knew what to do with everything we were giving it. Even if we were giving it in larger amounts, it knew exactly what to do with it because it knew what it was.
Yeah.
Real food.
Real food. Real food. Your genes are not your destiny. If you like this content is about functional medicine. And functional medicine is about everything from mental, emotional, and spiritual health all the way down to diet and digestion and elimination and everything in between. If you like it, please subscribe. Please hit the little bell so that you get notified about our content. Also, in the description, there's going to be a link where you can go to our webpage and join our community where you'll be able to do the webinars and everything that Elizabeth talked about earlier. So have a wonderful day.
Bye.